Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Expert Talk. Today, we are focusing on marketing. I have invited Dominique Sandwith from the Yellow Door, which is a marketing agency in Cape Town, South Africa. So Dominique has experience or a background in copywriting and social media management, but later on in 2014, she started the Yellow Door with her companion, Emma, and lately Dominic has been focusing on developing automation processes for the Yellow Door, which we will dive a little bit into today. So welcome, Dominic. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's great to be here.
Awesome. So if you can just start by explaining to us briefly what it is or how it is to work a day-to-day on a small marketing agency, because you're at like 5 people right now?
Yeah, we're about 5 people internally, and then we have a team of experts that we bring in on each project. So I manage quite a lot more people sort of per project, but yeah, day to day is just 5 of us. So yeah, briefly, every day is very different working in an agency, and there's no 2 days that are alike, and I learn a lot just every single day. So I manage the team, as I said, liaise with the clients, make sure that the work is done to like the standard that we require, make sure that our team, extended team of consultants, as I was saying, deliver on the deadline. And then just like put all the pieces together and make sure that goes to the client. So that's my day to day. And then sometimes I actually get involved in the work. I have very basic web development skills. So I put like finishing touches on websites and just check that everything is going well there. And then on the business side, I manage the finances and onboarding of the clients and training the team. So there's a lot going on all the time.
But that's the life of a startup, hey? It's
exactly.
you get to wear
always something going on. Yeah.
That's cool. And I wanted to ask you about, because in our introduction call that we had last week, you described yourself as a problem solver. And I wanted to ask you, like, how has that supported you in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like you're born with those skills as a problem solver. It's not something you learn, but you can obviously improve it as you go along in your career. And because my job is so all-encompassing and nonstop, I do feel like I use my problem solving skills to just help myself make things a little bit simpler, figure out an easy way forward. If someone comes with a problem, I need to quickly, figure it out. So that's part of it. And I find the ability to like brainstorm different ways of doing things and being resourceful as like one of the like 2 of the most important things that I use every day. A lot of the time it's my employees who come to me and say, like, my client has this issue, or we have this problem in our process and how can we make it better? And that's kind of where I come in and help problem solve.
Yeah, that's great, because it's actually one of the, like, we work a lot towards the World Economic Forum's like future skill sets that they are, saying that we should have, or that are important in the future of work, which problem solving is one of them. So I thought it was really interesting that you mentioned that. And
yeah, I mean, it's like I always say that you can't teach resourcefulness because it's something like that's innate in you. You need to be able to think on your feet, and you need to like really sort of bring that into your everyday life, not to have to ask people how to do something, but to figure it out yourself. But like I said, even though I don't think you can really teach it, I think you can improve it. And if it's just there, you can, work on it to help you with your career.
Yeah, definitely. And to show as well, like, like problem solving is usually like connected to mathematics or, you know, engineering roles and stuff.
Yeah, it's very
But like that's where
logical.
my head goes when I think about problem solving is like, oh, equations. But
Not
can
at
you,
all. I mean, the problems I solve, you know, in terms of like my job is very much just um, figuring out how someone does something in their business better. So it's definitely not like equation related, but it's definitely logical. You know, so like if this, then that, and that's kind of where it comes in useful.
yeah, awesome. And like as I mentioned in the introduction, that you have lately been like you have a marketing background, traditional marketing background, but then you've like over, I guess, the past year or so, like started creating
Yeah.
automation processes for like different pieces of your or different departments of your business. And like how did you go about creating that role? I guess that it was it based in your problem solving skills and you're like, hey, we need this.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, we had the problem was time, which I think everybody has, and I was lacking it. And as you heard when I said earlier, you know, like I do finances and onboarding and team management, and in a small business, there's just not enough resources, and not the budget doesn't allow you to hire, you know, people to manage each of those things. So because I didn't have the time, I figured out that there was some of the things that I was doing repeatedly every day that I could have automated. So that's what I did. I
Yeah.
went and found a way to make that admin disappear. And it's really, it's like enlightened us into the fact that, you know, this is something that we could do for our business, but then also do for other businesses. I mean, so many small businesses who struggle with the same issues that we do, just not being able to get to all the admin. And with tools like Zapier and Integromat, there's always ways to sort of bring the two systems together and go, okay, if this happens, then do this. And yeah, that's kind of where we started. And now we're offering it to clients. And so I'm sort of learning new ways to automate things all the time.
That's really cool. Like finding yourself in a position where like, hey, we don't have the capacity for this, and like just coming up with a solution.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
mm. And speaking more about automations, um, like what we're seeing is that automations, like with the you know, with AI and big data, is that like it's making certain jobs, or it's going to make certain jobs obsolete
Yeah, absolutely.
in the near future. And how do you imagine like these automation processes having an effect in the marketing industry in the future?
I think there will be a lot of change in the near future in many different industries. Marketing is definitely one of those careers and industries that change all the time. I mean, I am constantly learning about new ways of doing marketing, but also new platforms, and we've got to keep ourselves like abreast of all of these things all the time. But I think it is always incremental and it's manageable. So we do just find, like, you find a path to the new way of doing things, and you research and you learn. And in terms of how it will change, I think we just have to make sure that we're bringing a human element to each thing. So yes, AI and automations exist, but there's always that relationship building and that personal touch that you can give to your marketing. I mean, marketing itself is so like the trend and the like way forward is really just to connect with your customers on a personal level. But automations actually help you do that in a way that makes you able to reach more people. So using personalized newsletters and knowing what they've bought to be able to show them what they could be interested in the future. You know, it's all of that, which some people will agree with and some people won't. But you know, there's all ways of using automations to help us as as we grow, and we don't have to be scared of it. We just have to learn how to use it properly.
I love what you said about keeping that personal touch, and that, like, yes, automations will like help us in some ways. In some ways, it can't help us when it comes to the human side of things.
Yeah, no, it is just about the balance, I guess.
Yeah. So no worries, future marketing professionals.
Your job is still going to be there, I promise.
The job is still going to be there. Exactly. We need those skills there. That's really good. So actually, we've actually reached like the final part of this interview, which is 3 quick questions with 3 quick answers.
Cool.
Which we ask all our participants on these interviews. So I'm going to start. What good in the world does your job do?
Well, we're not saving the world as marketers, definitely not. But I think that it's important to remember that the businesses that we help grow, be them small, medium, big businesses, are all creating a better life for other people and for their employees. And we as Yellow Door try to always find businesses that align with our values. So I guess, and to answer your question in a short way, we're just helping those businesses that are helping other people to grow their futures. That's my only good that I do in the world.
That's a great answer.
I have a really a cute anecdote actually, because we recently built a website for a small boutique sort of guest house in Stellenbosch, which is just outside of Cape Town. It's a small town outside of Cape Town. And we built this website, and she had one before, but this one was like more modern and like more, just a better website. And she emailed me a couple of weeks after the website had gone live and said she'd gotten 2 bookings and an inquiry for a booking in 1 week from her website directly. And she was like, it's amazing. I've never had this before and I'm so happy. And so I guess that's kind of like where I'm like, oh, feel good now.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that goes into that, doing good for the world, is you're helping other people. Yeah. And what is the best part about your job?
So I really do enjoy helping people. So I guess that story kind of shows what is the best part of my job, when people come to me and say, like, you really helped me, and I feel like really good about that. So the best part of my job is not just helping clients, but also helping my employees to make their jobs easier, solving their problems without doing it for them, but helping them to do it for themselves, and seeing growth in people. That's where I enjoy that.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to anyone looking to get into the marketing field?
I think just read so much. Like, you really need to read everything. I do enjoy a good fantasy or fiction novel, but at the same time, I do have to keep abreast of what's happening in the industry. So I just read like a lot about the new trends and new understanding of what's happening in the industry. Because the more knowledge you have, the broader your abilities will be at the end of the day. And marketing is all about like how you do things and how you reach those people, and understanding what's working at the moment and using that going forward. I also think that it's important to find, in my opinion, I mean, this is my career path as well, but find a job in a smaller business where you can wear multiple hats and you can do a lot of the different work that's out there, rather than something that maybe is a little bit more cushy but repetitive and you don't learn as much. If you can learn as much as possible in the early days of your career, it really will set you up for being able to do a lot more later on, even though it's a little bit harder and probably like longer hours in the beginning. And then also in terms of automation, like if someone's interested in doing that, I think for me, it started by doing it for myself. So like I said, with my own tasks. So there's nothing stopping you from in your daily life, literally automating like anything. Your studies, you know, you can use project management systems. You can do whatever you want. There's so many free softwares out there. And I would encourage people to just take advantage of that. Like, you don't need to sit and write down your tasks on a pen and paper anymore. There's so many other things you can use that for.
Do you have any examples of softwares that we could use for that?
Yeah, I mean, I use a time tracking tool. We use Harvest, but there's so many free ones out there. So use a time tracking tool to help you keep on track of how much time you're spending on different things. And there's also the Pomodoro method. There's lots of tools for that, which is being able to do specific chunks of work and then taking a 5-minute break and then another chunk of work. Project management, we use Asana, which is free for a team of up to 15 people. There's other tools as well, which are also similar, but in terms of project management, like just being able to put your tasks in there, and then, you know, when a task gets ticked off, you kind of get that dopamine coming through. Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, group work, use Slack, you know, be able to chat to your teammates anytime, be able to communicate. I mean, all of these tools I didn't know about when I was studying. I mean, social media marketing didn't even exist when I was studying. But you know, there's all of these cool tools, and I would just really recommend just like using them as much as possible, just to help you make your time better spent. Yeah, you can spend more time at the beach.
And you mentioned reading as well, staying on top of trends, etc. Do you have any tips there where we could turn to find more information about that?
I read a lot on Medium. There's like certain things on Medium which I follow, but also I really enjoy their newsletters, which collate articles that you've kind of read and what could be interesting. So, I mean, obviously they're also using personalization and automation to find similar articles to what I've read before. So yeah, I get a like digest of things that I might want to read, and I always find something interesting in there, which I often share with my team, and we do, you know, we like share things like that. Yeah, so that's kind of where I get all my where my upcoming trends come from. Yeah,
and Medium is also a great space to, if you want to be a thought leader in your field.
Absolutely, you can you know, post your own articles and get known. I mean, I use LinkedIn articles. I think I used to call it LinkedIn Pulse, but yeah, like I put all my articles on LinkedIn as well, when I do end up writing a few things down. So yeah, I think it's really useful to use that. I mean, LinkedIn itself as well is also a great platform to finding interesting things that your industry is, you know, join groups or just read up on the trends, on the articles that are being posted on there. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Dom, for joining.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for the chat. It was really interesting to chat to you, and yeah, it was good to also put my thoughts down.
Yeah,
I don't do that often.
It's useful sometimes to like, what do I think about this? Yeah, exactly. For sure. But thank you so much. And
yeah, it's a pleasure.
Dominique, we can find her on LinkedIn. Soon to be found on our platform as well, if anybody wants to connect, ask questions, etc.
Awesome.
Yeah, so thank you, Dom. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Enjoy yours too.